Over the last 4 months, I have transformed this mountain into a rolling plains biome with a few trees dotted around for a new farming region. I've already started to build a fishing village here with some docks and smaller boats. Today, I want to transform that into a full village. I have absolutely fallen in love with this project, and I'm honestly just really excited to continue working here. My goal is to completely customize this entire space, and we're starting with the riverside and working inland. Click the like button if you're excited, and please subscribe if you're new. We're starting off here in the harbor, as the shallow mountain remnants look pretty awful. I already have a beacon set up here underwater, so I use that to get through a massive chunk of digging, trying to slope down the riverbed underneath to more easily add in mud on top of the blocks later on. Digging underwater is a massive pain for me, so this took about 2 hours to get through digging everything out so far. Thankfully, I had a decent amount of mud available on hand, so I used that to start filling in the area underneath the smaller fishing docks, as the mud makes it look a lot deeper with the darker tone in the block than the stone. I did take the time to fix up the docks after and extended the spruce supports down to the new river bottom. Then I fixed up all of the weird water issues to turn it all into source blocks and started to bone meal underwater to bring in some seagrass, as it's an easy way to add interest underwater. Trying to keep this not just seagrass everywhere under the docks, I added a little kelp growing up to help add in more variety. Taking a flight back over here to the big boat though, this is looking really cool so far, and honestly a pretty decent start to this whole thing. Unfortunately though, I have run out of mud, so I made a quite long trip over to the mangrove swamp to gather up 4 entire shulker boxes of mud to fill in the rest of this for the main harbor area, as it also needs the mud. Going right into another session of mud placing, I went through almost all of that I literally just gathered up after digging out the rest of the bay and then placing all of that mud in along the bottom. Then for a final round of bone mealing underwater to spawn in more seagrass down here, this whole space is starting to look pretty cool. As the sun is setting here, you can see just how much deeper it all looks with our mud in there versus the Minecraft river bottom. That's basically the same, if that's not even a little deeper over there, but with the mud being that darker tone, it just looks so much deeper in here, and I can't wait to get those giant boats like that scale here in front of the city too. Don't get me wrong, I am absolutely obsessed with these little boats over here, but having the large ships in front of the city is gonna look so good. From here, I want to start adding in some greenery before we get to building more houses. So in the city, I stopped by the foliage market to pick up a bunch of leaves, where I was almost out of birch leaves, so I decided, as I'll likely need a ton more of these in the future, to just fill up a shulker box to restock my storage a little bit. After that, I jumped into the lumber mill to pick up all of the fences and logs that I need to build up a bunch of different custom trees in the area. Of course, though, I am out of mangrove yet again, so I turned on the tree farm to just get an extra few stacks. Then for tree trunks, I do also like to use our packed mud and mostly mud brick walls for branches, so I made a few stacks of each of those. Before jumping to the fern farm, that's definitely just for farming ferns, and going into the grow op in the basement to harvest a bunch of them we can use to decorate with. That is everything I'm actually going to need for putting our greenery in, so I'll just drop the boxes down here and we can get started. I know a rough idea of where some buildings are going to go, so I decided to fill in those areas with our dirt for the backyard so I can easily decorate around them with all of our greenery currently. For example, along the road here leading in the village, I know I want an orchard to the right side. Not sure what fruit is growing from these trees, but I used oak saplings in flower pots to symbolize the fruits. Then decided to decorate out the orchard with some wheelbarrows and a ladder before adding in an extra tree to help frame out the path into our village. Then I gotta say, here's looking pretty dang cool. We have a lot more work to be doing, but I hit a few spore blossoms in here just to get the extra particles floating around for the greenery, and oh, these trees are so fun. Like, again, we can get into digging out the riverbed. Woo, yay, I love digging. Yeah. But I do want to add in more mud to add in that lush river edge to just finish it for now. So yep, the mud did get placed down where I had just tore out all of that stone, and then all of the greenery comes in after to really bring that lush vibe here that I just think is so fun. As you see the contrast of the city in the background, I am quickly falling in love with this new space. So naturally, to make it even better, I want to add in one of our big birch trees that'll sit behind where our houses are going. I mean, like, honestly, who even needs a village when you can just keep adding in more trees and greenery with our new section here along the water's edge going all the way down there? It just looks so dang good out here, but you're right, we probably, all right, fine. I guess we probably need a few houses along the road. If you insist, I can build some houses. I'm gonna need some more materials to make this happen, so back to the grind we go. I'd like to first start out by restocking some of my profession blocks over here in the lumber mill. Since this is a fishing village, I want a lot of barrels. Also, no note blocks since they look like crates, and beehives, well, just because they're so good for decorating. I need a few more other things out of the lumber mill here, so I guess I gotta throw those together. Actually, I did a quick count off of the materials I already gathered earlier, and apparently I got almost all the wood ready to go. Let's grab ourselves another empty box here, and I know I still need a lot of stone materials, so down into the quarry we go. I'm not planning to use much stone on these builds, mostly just for foundations and also the roof texturing with a lot of that deep slate, so I'm grabbing a few bits here and there. Also grabbed a few copper materials we can throw into the box here, and let's grab ourselves some prismarine walls and slabs we can use to symbolize fish. The last material I actually need for this, because I've got most of everything together, is I would like to... Please tell me I have enough wool here. Make a few banners. Yes, we have just enough. I'm hoping I left a loom here in color storage, but I don't think I did. Regardless, I need a white dye. I gotta have one around here somewhere. I don't want to go all the way out to the village. Yes. Oh, perfect. Here on the dock. Let's take this guy like that. And then I want to add a gradient that goes white to the bottom. And then we're going to dupe this to everything else, with the idea that we can have some cloth that's being dried off. And then this white one just kind of helps to extend that a little bit. If you just kind of forget that that's a line right there breaking him up, it'll be cool. I promise. Just give me a sec. I was so expecting to need to do a bunch of gathering for this, but between all these messes of shulkers and, you know, the ones I usually bring with me, we've actually got everything we need for all of the houses down here. Exteriors, of course. Interiors, well, maybe think about later. Potentially. Could possibly. Maybe, I don't know. Let's go build stuff. Let's first grab our dark oak, our mangrove, some spruce materials, and we'll probably use our tuff for a chimney to build it out of. I want to start off over here with our first building that we're just gonna do the base trim here out of our dark oak planks. I'm thinking these will be pretty small structures so we can turn it around here. And I do like the idea of having the bottom trim just being purely made out of this dark oak plank, and then moving up above this, we can make our doorway right here and go purely to different forms of logs as this moves up. I think we'll have another window of sorts right in here. This right here, we'll just do an oak trapdoor, and then I'm thinking on top of that, we'll just cap it off to here. Then I would like to take a lot of our spruce, as we're gonna work this in for a trim underneath going all the way up for a pretty classic Minecraft roof style. That's just going to be spruce going to the top, and cap it with a slab that'll go back that way, and then probably a longer stretch along here. I absolutely love this detail here. Some large blocky fish hanging up to dry. Then over on this side, I do have this spot to hang a few things, and instead of fish, I'm thinking we just make it look like they're drying some clothing, and to make that one a little longer, we have the extra white banner. And then to give more depth, we can come back to the far side and just plop a few here. And to finish off the corner, entering into the village here, we've got another little tree to kind of just fill in that space some more. And there we go. We're gonna have some more buildings right over here, but that's a really cool way to walk into our village. Speaking of the other houses, let's throw those in right now, trying to keep these all pretty small, as I want to really fit in with this small fishing village theme. I am very purposely making these tiny, as we are right next to the big city, and I want that contrast of the big buildings over there, well, bigger, the harbor ones are kind of small, compared to these little tiny guys over here. I just want this to really feel like a different space, and I think that makes it stand out as something more unique too, which is fun. What is not so fun though, I've just come to the realization while building this guy right behind me that I lost a shulker box somewhere, and it was full of building materials for this project. I'm pretty sure I left it in the quarry, as in I broke the box and didn't pick it up, and it's not there anymore. I don't know what I lost, but I lost a lot. I lost a lot of building blocks that were going to be used for building a lot more things around here. So that's really cool. But what's also really cool is I added in these two trees right here to go along our pathway. Got a few like crab pots out here, maybe for like crawdads, since this is freshwater, or I guess there's freshwater crabs too. More junk out here. And then I added in a chicken coop right here. I've got another slab to toss in right there. But first, I want to go get some eggs so that we can put some chickens inside. Thankfully, back at my starter base, I still have the original chicken farm set up, and well, egg farm, and it is constantly full of stuff. Let's go 4 stacks. I only want a few in there. It doesn't need to be mass chickens. If you didn't know, chickens don't have the ability to jump over a trapdoor that's facing this way, like at the edge of the block. They can go this way and jump over, but this here is actually a valid space for, let's get 2 chickens out here. But this is a valid space to keep chickens inside. So we got 2 chickens out there, and then I'm thinking inside the coop itself, let's go with 1, 2. Oh, that just hatched 4 chickens. Okay, right. That's enough chickens are in there. And that's gonna be a lot of clucking, so that's gonna be perfect. We'll leave them be. And if we want more, somehow they disappear, we got the eggs over here. But now for this house. I'd originally planned to make it out of tough, but I think I lost a lot of my tough, which is very sad. So instead, let's go with some, I have extra of it in here somewhere, bricks, granite, and we'll see where it goes from there. And then to copy an earlier roof palette, let's grab a lot of our copper, we can grab our spruce, and then we'll grab our mud. A little dirt mixed in with the bricks, and this will do for the house. The rest of the structure is in here, and we have a small backyard that I think is pretty cool. We've got some boxes around and a little storage shed of sorts, and symbolizing some tools here with an iron bar. Now, over in the chicken coop, we can also use these dead coral fans to kind of be like a nest for the chickens. So I'm gonna try and quickly get that in there before the chickens escape, and yeah, that'll do. Nobody's grown up yet, but there's like 5 or 6 in there, I think. And we got the 2. Oh, there's so many chickens. Now we've got one more building I want to add here for the fishing village. And I would like to go back to one of the earlier block palettes, being this guy here, to just kind of bring more cohesion into the village, because every single house is currently different. So we're going to just copy this and do a little bit of a difference down there for the other one. We're adding 2 rectangles together, slightly offset to create the base shape, then breaking up the roof to have some skylights, and again, more hanging fishies out front and a small workyard in the back. Where now we get the idea. Oh, I also added in this cart. Yeah, we have a little cart here taking some fishies that'll maybe go all the way around to sell them in the market in the city or something like that. My idea is that the small fishing boats dock over here instead of just docking at the city, because there's probably some port fee to dock there and unload goods. So they just bring them here and then take them by cart in, and it's probably cheaper. They're not super wealthy over here, so they're saving every dollar they can, you know? Okay, lore break is over, but the end of the street down here is looking so cool as we walk all the way down to the hanging fishies. Got a little smoker set up right out in front of it, and the build is looking great. Again, there is that back door that we can exit out of here into our little workyard as they make barrels. I'm blanking on what that term actually is right now, but outside that, I've been thinking, which I know is pretty dangerous, but I think a really big oak tree right here, kind of over the back of the building, could be really cool. All the trees here are to block the future town behind it, so the village still feels like it's in its own space. And minus the interiors, this entire corner of our new landscape is finished, and it feels so good to see it all done. But what also is going to feel really good is planting a massive wheat field right behind it. I am actually running out of wheat seeds though, so I need to run out to the desert to pick up some more. I was out here at the edge of the desert. We have the giant monolith. And inside of this is the most important farm you could ever need in a Minecraft world, a seed farm. I'm just gonna fill up all these shulker boxes to bring a ton back with me. When planting a field in this world, I just usually kind of wing it and fill a blob full of farmland to plant on top of. But for this whole region, I'm trying something new by pre-planning out builds to see how beautiful of a space that I can make. Just like you could try something new by subscribing to a new Minecraft channel like mine. If you enjoy the videos, I really do appreciate all of your support. So please click the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. I mean, how else would you see that I fill the entire world full of farmland? Look at this. There's over 1,000 wheat seeds planted on this thing, and it is looking so good. Once that all grows in, that is a massive chunk of this region filled in yet again. We are checking off so many boxes today. Continuing to work along the waterway, I'd like to focus here next and build up a water mill. With all of the wheat, we need a way to grind it down into grain, so I think that'll do really nicely right here. Now, I have been scavenging materials together, and I almost have enough, but I need to make a quick trip out. As per the norm, I have run out of spruce logs, which means I need to chop down a few of these big old trees. Just finished up grabbing some tough blocks out of storage, and we have one more stop to be making, as I thought it'd be pretty fun to add a little flower garden out front and some bees. So we need a few flowers for that. Let's get cornflowers. I apparently don't have any orange tulips left. We can do lily of the valley and some lilacs. I'll go pick up some more orange tulips so we can fill that out, but let's lay these guys down here so they can hopefully start aging, as I just need them to get to the second stage. Thankfully, the flower farms aren't too far away, and I might have some here, so I just need a few, and I turned them all to dye. Okay, right. How do I turn this thing on? Is it here? Oh God, it's so loud. Okay, right. Finally, peace and quiet and orange tulips. We can leave. Just a quick trip past the tree. We need a road for our carts to travel to the watermill, so let's throw that in first with a ramp down to enter the mill itself, where I'd like this to be broken up into two parts. The lower is going to be made out of a crumbled stone texture using a few dead corals, cobblestone, mossy cobble, and some tuff. The upper structure is going to have the same foundation, then going into oak and sandstone for a second story to be more like a house somebody could live in, where I have decided to go with a messy, warm tone for the roof using some of our jungle, granite, oak, and packed mud that you can see up there, and I think it looks really good together. Now, I've also had to kill a lot of time, as I still need 4 more of these trapdoors to age down so that I can wax them, but we'll deal with that later. In order to kill a lot of time, I ended up working on all of the greenery down here and got that added in for this stretch from about here to where we have this new little wall up there coming all the way across, with another boat just kind of pulled up here onto the shore, and all that greenery going around, where here we're going to be throwing in a big old wheel. And a little bit here along the retaining wall too. Not too much though. I'm just going to have to remind myself to come back and get these later, because I just want to build the thing, and we'll wax them later, and who knows, maybe it'll look really cool being at the 4th stage. We'll put them on the bottom half. Next up, I need to make the wheel here, and well, I've given myself a challenge of building it on an angle. Yeah, I know how that sounds. So we're going to be starting off to here. All of the moss blocks here are going to be temporary, and then thankfully the top is just going to go up and down. Now, with our river flowing from that way going out here, we can use that to help mark where all of our buckets are going to be going. In order to catch the water, it needs to be going this way, and then we're going to need our trapdoors going around to create the little bit of the bucket. Let's place a few temporary blocks in here, and we can get some spruce stairs that are going to go in, and how's this go? I guess the stair needs to go there. Add our second bucket in. That'll catch in there, and I am leaving a tiny gap in using the jungle trapdoors, since they have a little bit of the opening right in there to make a little bit of the water go through. If it's super intense, we don't want it to harm the wheel itself. And as the last step to connect the corners, let's go with a mud brick wall here, and then we can use spruce trapdoors to bend the walls out, and then that'll also help connect these two different layers. This is looking pretty good for the wheel so far, but it's a bit empty in here, and this is where I wanted to bring in our copper, almost as if it's like reinforcing the structure and just holding the middle of the frame together. So we're gonna take the ones that we waxed and bring them just in here, and then I guess that can just sit there, it doesn't matter. And we'll take the last of our stairs and bring those down under here, and then the unwaxed copper trapdoors are gonna go here, and honestly some might be like the 2nd or 3rd stage. Well, they'll all at least be at the 2nd stage, but maybe one will be the 3rd. It could be kind of nice to have a little variety, but there we go, our diagonal water wheel. It looks a little weird up close, but I think even once you get back to a distance right about to here even, that's not half bad. That looks pretty good. To help show what we're doing here, I've got a big old hay cart over here bringing some hay that would need to be unloaded into like the smaller wagon and then brought down into here where the mill would be, right in there, sticking off of this point. I promise we'll do an interior episode soon. Maybe. Hopefully. I want to, but I'm scared, you know? Now for more exterior detailing, let's bring in some pods right over here. And we can create some flower beds just for a little extra fun detail if whoever lives here has a hobby outside of being the miller. And then over here for an extra little hobby, maybe they partake in beekeeping. There's so many crops and everything around here that they need a lot of pollinators, so hopefully that means I also want to go grab a few more flowers. Hopefully there's some people out here tending to the bees and helping all the nature stuff be healthy. So we got a few flowers around, we got our beehives, and we'll have to get some bees out here, because there's none in these hives. Those are purely my decorative ones. Maybe some bees will find their way over, but I like this. I think that's a fun little way to walk in along the pathway or ride a cart in, and then you can get down here and maybe something's aged down. Yes, they have. 2 of them have. Perfect. And we'll let those two age all the way. It's fine. Definitely not going to be bothering me at all. I'm definitely not going to be back over here in a few minutes checking that off cam. Nope, definitely. I won't. It's fine. It's fine. I'm leaving it. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's fine. Don't mind me down here just filling in some mud underneath to really just, finish off the riverbed near a watermill. Did we? We did age now. Wow, that's so lovely. Did you? Oh, still one to go. Yeah, no, it's fine. Still totally fine. Don't care at all. Yep, I'm actually just gonna leave. We're gonna go do something. If I can fly. Yep, we're gonna go do something else now. Something, a watch trapdoor never ages. So let's build a boat. This is supposed to be a harbor after all, and currently we only have one large boat. So it's time to change that, and I need a lot of materials, starting again with a ton of mangrove as I want to make a red boat, so it's super fast. With a little bit more time spent here in the lumber mill, I've got everything ready to go. Well, at least I'm there. Oh, I left the beacon on. Gotta turn off the log stripping light. For the base of the hole, I think I want to go with some of our smooth quartz. I just think it's gonna look kind of nice, and then we can muddy it up a little bit with some diorite. To texture along with our mangrove, let's bring a little netherrack. On top of the diorite, of course, I need a few more stones I can grab down here. Well, we don't need too much for the boat, so that's actually most of it. Oh, actually, we should in here have some red terracotta too. As the last material to grab, I laid out a few trapdoors, which, yes, it looks like a lot of them are aged, as we need to get this second stage again. I really hate the process of working with these, but man, the block looks so good. And that one hasn't aged at all. Nice. Great. And there's that one. Well, I needed 18, and I laid out a few extras, and whoa, actually, I have that many. Perfect. Oh, that's amazing. And a 19. Nope, we already got that one, which means hopefully, the watermill also aged down? It didn't age at all. You're not, yeah, okay, yeah, that didn't get whacked somehow. Right, yeah, Well, anyways, our big ol' boat's going right over here. We designed this boat live on stream a while back, so if you want to see my entire process for designing things and how to build things the way that I do it, I've been doing a lot of creative planning streams recently, so click the notification bell so you don't miss them live and can ask questions, or the VODs are always available here on the channel if you want to catch them after the fact. This definitely isn't the best boat you could ever build in Minecraft, but I do feel like I learned a lot throughout the process, so I'm fairly happy with the result we have so far. I did also come through after the fact and worked in a few more details, like our deep slate figurehead here on the front of the boat. We can jump on up inside, where I have added a bunch of goods in crates and barrels being stored, even opening this so that you can come down inside and see all of the storage stuff down here. And then this is our way to get up and down. You can slide down here into the captain's quarters, which is, yeah, a little bland right now, but it's a start. Look at me, half an interior. Well, a third of an interior. Overall, though, I'm pretty happy with this place. We got these little places up here where you could put some things to be displayed, like a map or whatever, a compass, I don't know. And you got the little wheel where you can steer the boat from. We even have a rudder down underneath on the back, and it's looking really good, especially when we run all the way back over here. You can see that boat and this first one that we built a long time ago. You can see the leaf bush in front of me. And the big challenge is I want a massive one right there, but it's gonna have to be added diagonal. So we have a diagonal boat that's gonna need to come in there. These are all just future plans that I have no idea how to tackle it yet. We also have another diagonal boat that's gonna be sitting right here, and then another smaller one that I'm kind of thinking is gonna be like a barge shape that'll be sitting right along here, unloading like sand or gravel or something like that. But I thought 5 boats here in front of the city, at least for what we have planned currently for the harbor, is a pretty good start. Can we do another like waiting to go to dock, like floating out here in the middle? Ooh, I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I need to decorate this too. Right. So many things to do. Today has been so fun for me to work on these new builds in front of the city. Seeing the contrast of our little fishing village against the massive city is just really cool, which still has a lot of room to grow as we add more details in, like the new boat from today. Let me know what you'd like to see next in this world, or if you have any ideas on what to add into this region, that would be great. I am tempted to start tackling the town across the bridge soon, however, but we'll see where inspiration takes me. So click the like button if you enjoyed the episode, as it really does help me out a ton, so thank you very much, and subscribe if you're new. With that, I'll catch y'all on the flip side.